Welcome to another edition of Wayne's World. I'm Wayne Dawson, and I am honored to have one of my best friends to talk to this morning, a woman I've known for many, many years. She is a trailblazer. She is an activist. She is a woman who's making a difference here in the city of Cleveland, has been doing that for many, many years. You know her, you love her, Yvonne Pointer.
Hey, Wayne, I love you so much.
I love you too. You know what? We met, gosh,
I remember, yes.
When your daughter was killed, this is the aftermath.
Yes.
How many years has it been?
She was murdered in 1984. So we're coming up on 42 years.
42 years.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I can remember you being an on-the-street reporter.
That's right.
And when we exited the church, your face was the first face that I saw standing outside of the church, because it was a big media.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, it was really, her homicide was really big.
Yes, yes. And our friendship has grown.
Yes.
I will admit that she has a lot to do with the fact that I'm married to the woman I'm married to now.
Yes, we had something to do with that.
Yeah,
I take credit.
So I blame you, I give you credit. No, I'm just kidding.
I think I get credit. I love Laverne so much. And I'm Danielle's godmother.
That's right, that's right.
So I'm in the family.
Yes, you are, yes, you are. You've done so much over the years, all in honor of your daughter. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But first, recently you got married.
I did.
I mean, did you, first of all,
I did.
Tell us about your husband.
Well, you have to know that when you deal with traumatic homicides, they implement your thinking. So my daughter was not only murdered, she was sexually assaulted. So for many years, and her case remained unsolved for 29 years. So for many years, I didn't date, I didn't do anything naturally, because I don't know who the killer is. Right. So after her case was solved and I was doing my community work, I was picking up some things from Ghana to send over. And the lady who I never met, she said, "Are you married?" And I thought, what does that have to do with Africa, you know? She says, "Well, my brother's wife died, and he is so wonderful. I would love for you to meet him." At the time, I was like, "I'm not interested, no thank you." And she said, "You can help him with his grief." And that's where the door opened. We would just minister about how to get through, because they were married 33 years. And so we talked every day about his deceased wife. Did you take your medicine? What did you have for lunch? It was just conversation. Nothing about marriage. And needless to say, that's how it started.
How was married life? Because you were so busy and you were doing so much.
Well, God gave me the perfect husband because he does not interfere with the ministry. He comes alongside. As a matter of fact, he told me to tell you, he's at the gym. That's the only reason he's not here. But I mean, it takes some getting used to. Sometimes I have to remind myself, oh, you have a whole husband. You can't do everything. So yeah, it's really nice. I love it.
Let's talk about some of the things you're doing now. One thing that you're doing, and you've been doing for many years, is the Hope Haven. Tell us about Hope Haven. What's that all about?
Well, I got to tell you, there's a room in my home called the Hope Haven that at one time was where I kept all of my grief paraphernalia, if you will, the grief cards about Gloria. It was just a catch-all room, and I would go in there and I would be so discouraged and sad and crying and reading her cards. And one day God just spoke to me and said, throw everything out. And so I threw out everything, and then that room started to come together. So the same space that at one time brought grief, now is my place of refuge. And people like yourself, people come from all over the country just to sit in that space because the Spirit of God dwells there. It is a beautiful, beautiful space.
Talk about your preparation in the morning. We've talked about that before.
Yes.
But talk about the way you get prepared in the morning.
Well, we call it the first 24. One day, because I talk to God a lot, I pray, and God said to me, tell my people I'd like them to tithe their time to me. Do you know what a tithe is? I said, yeah, it's 10%. He said, well, if they give me 10% of the day, that's how we want to do it. He said, but that's 2 hours and 40 minutes. They're not going to do it. So he said, if they give me the first 24 minutes of every day, just get up, wash your face, brush your teeth. Before you do anything, I can't say before you check Fox 8 News, but before you turn on your television, go to your sacred place just for 24 minutes. And you will be surprised at the difference
And
it
you say
makes.
you brush your teeth, wash your face. Why do you go through all that?
You know why? Guess why? If you had a date and your date was coming and they rang the bell and you were in the bed, you wouldn't just go to the door any kind of way. You would prepare yourself. You'd get yourself ready to greet this person. And that's what we do with the first 24. We prepare ourselves to meet Christ. We said, God, we're not coming with our goat butter in our eye and our sleep. We're gonna get ourselves together. And for 24 minutes, and he said, and don't go past 24. So we read, we pray, and people are doing it all over the country, and it has testimonies of how it has made a difference.
You talk about how God speaks to you. How does he speak to you?
Yeah, some people might say, does he talk out loud? And sometimes it's down inside. Sometimes it's a thought. Sometimes it's just a thought in your head that is so affirming. He said, my sheep know my voice. So when you hear it, you know that it's him. One time, Wayne, this is the honest to God truth. I was in LA and my sister and my friend was in the room and my niece. And I heard this music so loud, I was agitated. I jumped up, like, who is blasting that music? And when I sat up, everybody was knocked out asleep. I'm like, well, how's this possible? So I laid back down and I heard the music again. It was blaring and blasting. So I woke them up. I said, do you all hear that music? And they said, what music are you talking? Couldn't hear. But I could hear this song. I got a pencil and I wrote it. That's why I believe it's choirs in heaven. Somebody somewhere is singing. And we recorded the song. It's called God is Doing Great Things. And I could just hear it. And so when you talk about how does he speak, sometimes it is through songs. When my daughter was murdered, and I was going through some devastating periods, I just was begging God, come and get me. I didn't want to be here. Come and get me. And I said these words, I don't even have a reason to be here. And just like that, God spoke down in my spirit and said, then I will be your reason.
Did you have a relationship at that particular time?
I did have a relationship. I did. I knew him because I came to Christ on the fourth Sunday of May, 1975.
Okay.
She was murdered in 1984.
Did you doubt at that point? Did you ask her why and all that? Did you have those feelings?
Yeah,
of Lord,
absolutely, because you're human and you want to know where was God.
Right.
And you know, I'm serving you.
Right,
why are you
right.
not helping me?
Right.
And I know for a fact that he has a plan. You just don't know it at the time. Even what you're experiencing, what you're going through. It looks like with all that you're doing, God, what is this? But he has a plan, and he can take what the enemy meant for evil and use it for his glory.
That's for sure.
I'm a witness.
Sure.
I'm a witness.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yes, you are. No doubt about it. A lot of people will have buckled.
Yeah.
When you think about what you have gone through, but you took it and made it into a positive.
Well, because God gave me a reason. It became my reason. You know, a lot of times people don't understand. Even when, after 29 years, when her case was finally solved, and I got a chance to do my victim's impact statement in the courtroom, I said to the person that murdered her,
yes,
you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Because I've gotten the opportunity to see so much good come out of what could have been evil. And it's all in perspective. You know, when you think about all that we're going through, it's how you see it. If you say, God, I want you to get the glory out of this, some way and somehow, it will happen.
So he can get the glory.
Just be glorified. Just be glorified. And so when we look at what's going on in Africa and the scholarships, just so much good has come out of something that could have been viewed as evil only.
Meeting the killer. Talk about the emotions that you went through when you had a chance to talk and look into the eyes of the man who killed your daughter.
Well, let me say, a part of the ministry, prior to knowing who he was, I would do prison visits. One of the most amazing gifts that I have with this life is going into prisons. I was looking for the killer, right?
Is that why you were going into prison?
That's where I was going. I thought if I go in, if I let them see my face, and that somebody in the room would raise their hand and say, I did it. This was my thinking.
Okay.
But what I didn't know, that what was going to happen is that my life was going to be transformed by those individuals inside those prisons.
In what way?
Because they too are redeemed. You know, we throw them away and think, okay, we're done with them. But when you go in there, you find a hunger and a thirst for righteousness that you may not even find in your local congregation. Because those people locally can come and go, but you've got a captive audience that has to listen. And so when you're up talking and you can feel them soaking in your words and just receiving, and the gratitude, it just was life transforming. So they became a purpose. So much so that even when I did my first book, one of the inmates did the artwork.
What was the first book?
Behind the Death of a Child. And guess what? They are talented, they are gifted, and when I think about the scriptures, Jesus said, when I was in prison, you visited me. Didn't he say it? And so you might think, well, Jesus is not in prison. But when I go in there, I'm looking into the face of individuals that need redemption. And how can they hear unless somebody goes in?
What a heart, though. I mean, you just have a heart, and that's a beautiful thing.
It's his heart. It's his heart. So I'm in there talking about forgiveness and redemption, and I always said, when I ever came face to face with Gloria's killer, can I give him the same message?
How did you, first of all, how did they find out?
DNA. DNA.
Okay. It took a long time, though.
29 years. And I got to tell you, DNA, if you're out there and you have committed a crime, DNA is going to catch up with you. It will catch you. I don't think he ever thought that he would be caught, but the DNA eventually did catch up. And so I said to him, I forgive you, because what you meant for evil, God has used it for good. And then I petitioned the state of Ohio to literally meet with him one-on-one on death row.
And you were able to do that?
I did it, yeah, I did it. Not to talk about Gloria.
Okay.
Not to talk about Gloria. If we're gonna do this work of protecting children, we need to know who we're protecting them from. See, we think that they have a fork and a tail like the devil, but in actuality they don't. They're everyday people. So I wanted him to help me to identify ways that we can keep children safe.
Was he able to do that?
No, he wasn't able to, because he was not, his tears during our visit,
So he cried?
He wouldn't stop crying. And
did he admit it?
Oh yeah, he admitted, but his tears weren't for Gloria. He doesn't want to be in prison.
Oh, that's why he was crying.
So he was kind of narcissistically crying for himself. And I'm like, stop crying. And that's how we ended up having prayer. I said, let's just pray, because I need you to help. I said, you can be known as the person who helped the mother of the child you murdered, or you could be known in history as a person who murdered a child. But he was not able to receive what I was saying.
My goodness gracious. Now, he was on death row. Has he been put to death?
No. In exchange for his confession, they took the death penalty off the table.
But he's life in prison.
Yes, yes.
How did that feel for you? Was that a release for you to be able to talk to this man?
You know what, Wayne, to be honest, because I had, just like David, when he got to Goliath, he had been working up to that. So I had been working up to it through the prison visits. I didn't feel anything. I just felt like this God who we serve even has redemption for this person. Now you want to talk about some love. That's love.
It is, no doubt. And for you to forgive him too. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Because I'm forgiven.
Amen. talking to Yvonne Pointer, and we're going to talk about some of the things she's doing in Africa in the name of her daughter. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Wayne's World. I'm talking with the one and only Yvonne Pointer. Yvonne, once again, thank you so much for stopping by. I know you're busy doing what you do. You're absolutely amazing. And what you have done to keep your daughter's memory alive is incredible, starting with what you've done in Africa. Let's talk about that.
Well, every day, I don't know if people are familiar with a prayer called the Prayer of Jabez.
Okay.
And I used to pray it all the time. I got away from it because it's too powerful.
Mm-hmm. I need to start praying that myself.
No, God enlarged my territory.
Yes, He did.
And one day I went to my post office box and there was an envelope from Africa. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't know anybody from Africa, so I was going to throw it away when we talk about how God speaks. And the thought just said, open it. Mm-hmm. And when I opened it, it was from a boy in Ghana who was writing to say he was sorry to hear about the murder of my girl child. This boy, Anthony Tay, was there and he was hungry and everything. And he said, would you please help us with food? Now, my first thought was, how did a boy in Africa hear about Gloria? Mm-hmm. So it was a piece of paper that he found that talked about her homicide. I started sending money for them to get food after I verified it. And then he had a dream. Mm-hmm. And in the dream, he was supposed to build an organization in her memory called the Gloria Pointer Teen Movement. So true enough, he started gathering kids together, and this goes on for 5 years. And they invited me. They said, you should come and see what's being done in your daughter's name. So I got an award from actress Queen Latifah, mm-hmm. and I flew to Ghana. And sure enough, they had an anthem, they had billboards, they had everything with Gloria Pointer's name on it.
Incredible.
I cried so hard, and I said, God, what am I supposed to do here? And he said, build schools. How do you build schools in Ghana? Come on. That's like God always giving you these assignments, right?
Enlarge your territory.
Enlarge your territory. So we met someone that donated some land in the village of Antonqua.
Okay.
They gave us the land. They said, you can have this land. Okay, we've got land, but now what? And we said, well, we're going to build a school. And I have to tell you, without a doubt, with one brick, 2 years after that, we went and opened the first school.
Wow.
God did
Incredible.
it, I'm telling you. And it is such an amazing experience. So from there, we're up to 5 schools. We have 2 orphanages. We have a church. We have a library. Joseph Billups here in Cleveland. He went with us last time we went. He was so impressed. He just built an art center in memory of his son. So a lot of times people don't realize that over there you can do a lot with your money. Mm-hmm. So if you have family members that you want remembered, we can build a building with their name on it.
Incredible. How can people donate?
They can donate through our website, www.yvonnepointer.com. And it's so interesting because they're always saying to me, Mama, we're hungry. And I'm telling people, I need your help. Help me to feed these children.
They call you Mama?
Mama. Well, I'm Queen Mother.
Queen Mother.
Queen Mother.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Queen Mother. Mm-hmm. And 50 of our dollars buys a bag of rice that will feed an entire village.
An entire
village. So all it takes is $50. So when they give me $50, he gets $50. There's no middle person. There's no 10% for the executive director. Mm-hmm. So if someone says, well, I have $100. As a matter of fact, you and your wife, Laverne, have donated over the years. It's just amazing.
Question, with all you've done and all the awards you've received, we haven't talked about the awards, the national awards. They've done documentaries on
I was just on Dateline, yes.
How do you stay grounded?
Well, in 2 Corinthians, Paul asked God to remove the thorn from his flesh. And God said, my grace is sufficient. So trust and believe I operate with the thorn. And that's what keeps me humbled. That's what keeps me in the first 24 every day. To identify what that thorn is irrelevant. But it's something that keeps me looking to the hills from whence cometh my help.
After all these years, does it still hurt when you think about your daughter?
I was talking with Roshonda Benton yesterday, whose son, the police officer, 29 years, just died during the training. And I said, Roshonda, I'm not going to say to you it gets better, because it doesn't. 42 years and I still long to see her. So I'm not one of those people that say, oh, you'll be okay, you'll get over it. I say, no, you won't be okay and you will not get over it, but God will give you sufficient grace.
I remember right after your daughter had died and other individuals were going through tragedies, you would call me and ask for that information.
Yeah.
What do you tell these individuals?
I tell them, as I said to her even on yesterday, that God will give you strength. And you, on many occasions, helped me to reach out to families, the Halton families, Jen Sherman. A lot of times when there's things going on the news, I'm calling saying, can I get their phone number? Why? What I want them to do is look on me and see hope. And even come to the Hope Haven.
There you go. What's in the future for Yvonne Pointer?
Well, I'm going to try to retire.
Wait a minute now. What do you mean try to retire? Because you retired from the city of Cleveland.
In 2014. So my husband always says, he says, you are too busy, and I might just come down and sit around your pool. I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, you've been doing a wonderful work.
Thank you, Wayne. And you have been doing a wonderful work. You know, Cleveland prayed for you.
Yes,
and we still do. So we're just so grateful to see God moving on your life.
I'm glad to call you friend.
I love you, Wayne, and I love Laverne.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yvonne Pointer. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Wayne's World. We'll see you next time. Remember, whatever the mind of man or woman can conceive and believe, with God's help, it can achieve. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.